This episode is a reflection on how much of ourselves we've silenced to be accepted. This one's for the people who learned performance before they learned how to breathe. Growing up, I was always seen as the level-headed one, the good kid, but that wasn't always a compliment. It was code for don't question what you're being asked to carry. I was the middle child on my mother's side, and because I wasn't getting in trouble in school, because I didn't like going outside much, they made me the second mother of the house. It wasn't some noble act, or role, if you will. It was a burden disguised as virtue. I was 7, and I was already worrying about the bills. Why? Because I was told I had to be? Because my mother didn't want to be a mother that day? Because a good daughter doesn't complain. She obeys. I learned to track grocery budgets instead of dreams, to clean a house instead of climb a tree, to parent when I barely even had a chance to be a child. And it didn't stop there. My family made it clear. Very clear. If you're a woman, you exist to serve. You don't backtalk, you don't question, you don't live outside the walls of the house, and you don't have a voice unless you're spoken to. You are to be seen, not heard. And the men, well, the men, they were royalty. They could stay out, fight, steal, join gangs, and it was all called becoming a man. But if I so much as rolled my eyes, I'd get hit. Even if I was following a damn mosquito with my gaze. It was all gonna end the same way. You know what hurts the most? Is the fact that I carried that same damn performance into my relationships. I didn't just stay playing the role of caretaker in my childhood. I stayed playing that role continually into my adulthood without realizing it. Trying to earn love from people who gave zero fucks about me because I thought that if I gave everything, my body, my energy, my silence, my fucking soul, then maybe they'd finally stay. Someone would stay. I bent myself into a shape I never was, just to be tolerable to someone who only loved a version of me I had to fake. And for a long time, I didn't know who I was outside of that performance. Because when you grow up believing that the only way to be loved is to be what someone else needs, you become a master of disappearing. You become a shadow that shapeshifts to survive. And I guess to some of you, you could call it being a pick-me. But honestly, it's way deeper than that. Much deeper. It's being raised to believe that your worth is only measured by how well you serve someone else's story. By how you're able to lift them up as high as possible. I didn't know what healthy looked like. Not until I read about it in books. Books with families that didn't scream at each other from across the table. Families that actually listened. That didn't treat discipline like war. It was all a foreign concept to me. And I didn't know exactly how to handle it. When you've been raised in chaos, you walk into peace like it's a trap. You flinch at silence. You wait for the next blow up, even when you're safe. That's what this episode is about. The cost of playing a role that was never meant for you. And the courage it takes to finally lay that mask down. Some of us weren't born. We were assigned. Assigned roles we never asked for. And now we're relearning how to function into the thought process of returning only to ourselves, being just enough for ourselves, not for anyone else. That's what healing is. Reclaiming the person you were before they told you who to be. You are not the role you were assigned. You are the soul that's finally breaking free. Thank you for listening to The Voices by Jcatalyst. If this episode spoke to you, feel free to share it or subscribe for more. You can find my social links, book details, and more through the link tree in the episode description. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep going.